Yo, what's up? Good morning, everybody. It's the Smokin Joe Radio Show, back from my hiatus. Been a while, but back on that grind. And what are we talking about today? Talking about the Cleveland Browns. Biggest question is, can the Browns beat the Houston Texans tomorrow at 4:30 down in Houston? Quick answer is yes. All right. Thanks for watching the video. See you later. No. I do believe that they can beat the Texans, but I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk by any stretch of the imagination. Last time the Browns played the Texans, I believe the score was 36-22, and they didn't have their starting quarterback, Rookie of the Year, C.J. Stroud. The man is a myth and a legend and a monster all rolled into one. So I think it's going to be important for the Browns to get pressure on CJ and take advantage of some of his inexperience. And with that said, that defense, boy, it's time to eat, man. It's time to eat, defense. Y'all ready? Because I know Flacco's been playing lights out, but the difference in this game is going to be the defense. What worries me about the defense off the jump, the first thing that stands out is our ability or, inability to stop the big play. How many times is the defense 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 70-yard touchdown, 60-yard touchdown? That worries me when you look at a team like the Texans who have deep play and big play and deep threat ability on any down. On any down, it could go for a score. C.J. Stroud's going to put it on the money. So if that defense is slacking at all, it's over. It's over because it's going to be, especially you can't come out the gate. Let's say, all right, Texans get the ball. They started off, kickoff, whatever, 25-yard line. They start, drop back, boom, throws deep like Nico Collins, gone, touchdown, 75 yards off the bat. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but why not? So the Browns' defense is going to be key in stopping big plays like that because they're not going to get us for long drives. I'll tell you that right now because you can look at the stats and see from this year that the Browns don't give up, those long drives. Some of the biggest issues that the Browns have is turning the ball over in our own red zone or on our own side of the field because every time that happens, almost every time it happens, I think it's like over 50%, like the other team scores. This has killed their red zone efficiency on defense. And it makes it that much harder. Luckily, these last few weeks, having a veteran quarterback like Flacco, even though he throws those 3 interceptions, he knows he can turn it right around and throw 3 touchdowns. Joe Cool, man. This is something special that we're witnessing right now. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to enjoy the ride. Because it's been a long time since there's been a ride even close to this. And how much of a story-fitting, thing would it be for Flacco to play the Ravens with a chance to go to Super Bowl, the old Browns against the new Browns? And I ain't going to say the old Browns. Like, I don't hold it like that. I'm just saying because they at one point were there. And they've kind of been the staple of a good team. Like, it used to be, like, Pittsburgh was always that AFC North staple of what a good team should be. And they still are. Look at them. I don't know how the hell they're in the playoffs. That's credit to Mike Tomlin. Look, and if they ever want to get rid of Mike Tomlin, I don't care if Stefanski is coaching playoff games, man. I want Mike Tomlin. And I'll run through a wall for that dude wearing the Browns uniform. Yeah, he's I get much respect. And Harbaugh, great coaches, right? I don't even know who the freaking coach is for the Bengals. I forgot. Zach something or something. Zach Taylor didn't get fired. I don't know. I don't even know. But this is one of the roughest divisions in the league. On top of that, you look at the teams we have, man. Everybody has a winning record, so it's going to be important for for the Browns to not only do good this year and make a big statement in the playoffs, but man, if they could overcome these obstacles that have constantly been in their way, it's a wrap, man. How you like that? Eating my coffee. You just got lit up. Any Suits fans out there? You get that. So I do want to look at a little tail of the tape, so to speak, right? When the Browns against the Texans and how they match up. We're looking at the Texans offense, which is our strong point, against the Browns defense, which is their strong point. And I know the Browns offense has been doing some things and everything, but the Browns numbers say they're one of the best defenses in the league, and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that because those numbers are real. Those numbers are real. When it comes to Houston Texans, the Houston Texans are their offense on the year is getting 329. They got 329 first downs. The Browns defense only gave up 253. So how does that? How can you compare that and look at it? Well, the Browns don't give up a lot of first downs. They have one of the highest conversion rates of 3 and outs in the league. They're number 1 in third down defense. We pull up this stat. When I look at the stat right here, the top, I have the top 20 up there pulled up, but we're talking about the top couple. The number 1 third down defense, and this is the amount of the percentage of, if it's 10 tries and it's 30%, they only allowed up 3 out of 10. Allowed 3 out of 10. So the Browns are giving up 29.1% on third down. So typically too with our pass rush, and if we could get them in anything third and long, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, man. Third and double digits, you might as well chalk it. Yeah, that percentage probably drops when you start getting in long yardage. That percentage probably drops down to like 20. Next best team, number 2, is the Broncos with 33.2%. Then we have the Falcons, 33.8%. The Saints, and then the Texans. Actually, the Texans 5th. So that's why I wanted to kind of keep going down to get to them. The Texans 35.7%. Now these are these are, like I said, these are defensive numbers for first downs, off of third down plays. So both teams are pretty solid on with their third down defense. The Texans, when you're looking at the breakdown of how they're getting their first downs, they're getting 84 of them by rushing, 215 by passing, and then 30 by penalty. So there's almost 3 times the amount on passing. So that just speaks to the way that C.J. Stroud is able to move the ball and use his receivers. I mean, I don't even know all the receivers on the Texans, and he'd do it through for 4,000 yards. When you could do that, and you got these guys, I mean, I don't know if Nico Collins is a household name, and he is now. I don't know what his high school or college stats and 40 times and stuff, but does C.J. Stroud make that, man? I don't know, because it seems like whoever he throws to, man, they look good. In the running game, the Texans' running game hasn't been strong, but the Browns when they're giving up first downs, they're giving up 87 on rushing, 136 on passing, and 30 on penalty. So, if you look in comparison to that to the Texans defense, just kind of on the average, since the Texans do have a pretty good defense, so something's worth looking at. The Texans defense give up 110 first downs on rushing, 185 on passing, and 37 from penalty. So the Browns do not give up a lot of first downs on third down. So that's good. It's good. You can get a team like the Texans in third and long, but then you have to maintain C.J. Stroud. And when it comes to third down conversions, the Texans, out of 232 tries, they've gotten 88 of them. that puts somewhere around like the middle of the league. Now the Browns defensively, out of 230 tries, and it's crazy how when you look at all these tries and all these numbers, how they all seem to average out around the same. Like, no matter the length of the games, who's playing, at the end of the day, they all kind of. And this is how people think Vegas is fixed. It's not fixed, man. It's just numbers. It's just numbers. It's just really good with freaking numbers. And when you look at all this, the universe is, and everything is just all built on numbers. And when you see patterns, you run with it, man. So the Browns, out of 230 tries, only given up 67. Yeah, 67. So that's that is impressive. That is impressive. Now on fourth down, I found it interesting that out of 15 tries, he would have 6. That seems high to me, and it's probably right on with the numbers. I'm not quick with math in my head on that, but that does seem a little bit high. The Texans have gone for fourth down 21 times this year, and have hit 8 of them. So there's about a third on there. Browns in yardage wise, we're going to look at their total yards given up. Defensive yards overall, Browns have the number 1 defense at 270.2 yards a game. Now, oddly enough, when you look at the stat pulled up here, the other teams beneath, 289, 292, 293, 299, 300, the Texans are down at number 14. TDs allowed, the Browns have almost more than anybody besides the Panthers, the Dolphins, and the Bears on here. 44. So they've only given up 270 yards, but they've given up 44 touchdowns. And this is what I was talking about earlier. The turnovers on negative side of the field, or turnovers in your own red zone, or the pick sixes. I don't even know the pick sixes and fumble returns for touchdowns against the Browns this year. I think there's like 5 of them, right? So, and that all goes into, TDs and everything else. It's all scores, right? So that brings the numbers down on the Browns, and it seems like it would be even better. They would have even better numbers if you were to be able to just cancel out those easy penalties, or not easy penalties, easy turnovers, right? The turnovers, they just kill them, man, every time. Just when you start to get momentum, just when you start to feel like you're moving, you're doing things, right? Then boom, turnover. They got a touchdown. They're right back in it. You have your foot on their throat, man. Okay, so let me pull back up some of the Browns total stats, team stats. All right. Total rushing yards. The Browns gave up 1,700, almost like 1,800 for the year. The Texans are running about 1,647 yards. Now that number doesn't really tell at all because Singletary's been emerging lately and put up a few 100-yard games towards the end of the year. I know I had him on my fantasy team. And, they look solid, and he has big playability, too. Plus can catch out of the backfield. And they have a second back there. I forget his name off the top of my head, but they have a second back there, so they can do damage. So it's going to be important for the Browns because you know what they're going to do. And you saw this if you watched any of the game last week. On those early downs, they're going to try to get a couple yards to see if they can get C.J. Stroud in the third and manageable. And if they can keep C.J. Stroud around 3rd and 6 and under for most of the game, the Texans have a really good shot at winning. It's very hard to stop a quarterback like him with 6 yards, man. It's 3rd and 14. You got Myles Garrett with his ears pinned back, boom, coming in, And Myles, can you not jump off sides? Look, this is a playoff game coming up. This is big. You do this shit, excuse my language, at some of the most inopportune times, son. What's going on, man? I know you're trying to get that jump and that snap, but you're bigger, stronger, faster, and better than them anyways. That penalty, because what happens is you get off sides, and I think this happened in the Colts game, the game against the Colts. You go off sides, And then you have a veteran quarterback like Gardner Minshew, who ain't even that good. He knows I got a flag. I got a free play. On a free play, you take a risk and boom, you get a big play. Instead of that 5 yards, now they got 25, 30, 40, maybe even a touchdown because they took a risk they wouldn't normally take because of that flag. Look, man, I'm telling you. Trust me, man. Trust me. I got you. I wouldn't steer you wrong, brother. So it's going to be big to make sure you get C.J. Stroud in at least 3rd and 8 or higher. The more you do that, the more you're going to lock him down and you got a better chance of winning this game. You also got to make sure you stay with the receivers and don't miscommunicate at all, right? I know, these things happen. Nobody's perfect, but look, man, if you make these mistakes and there's a blown coverage here or blown coverage there, C.J. Stroud's going to make you pay. He's going to make you pay, and it's going to hurt. So we got to stay locked in. When we look at it, let's look at the last time the Browns and the Texans played. I'll pull up that game. We're on it from the. Okay, yeah, this is we're looking at it from the site of the Texans. So the Texans lost 22-36. Now they did not have C.J. Stroud. But when we're looking at total yardage, 250. That's 20 under their season average. 178 of it passing, 72 of it was rushing. 2 touchdowns. So didn't have a lot going on. 178 yards passing. If our defense did something like that this game, I'd take it. I would definitely take it. But, like I said, you have C.J. Stroud coming in there. So, I expect he's not going to have 178 yards rushing or 178 yards passing. If he has 178 yards passing, it's a victory. Straight up, it's a victory. No rush, no worries, no nothing. It's a victory. 72 yards on the ground, I'll take that as well. Browns give up over 100 yards a game on defense on the ground. So, that could hurt, especially you get a couple turnovers. They get the lead, up by 10. They start pounding the rock, killing the clock, taking the air out of the ball, whatever you want to call it. Then you got Flacco, who he's a gunslinger, man. And if he gets behind, he's gonna take chances. And they can bite you. They haven't yet because he's had opportunities to come back. But it did in the what game was that? The Rams. That got out of hand quick. That final score really wasn't look like. It just got out of hand, and that can happen when you have a gunslinger like Flacco. Like, I don't know if you guys remember Brett Favre. Brett Favre would have you right in the game and throw you right out of it, and then throw you right back into it, and then you don't know what's going to happen at the end. But you have to take that. You got to take that because you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the NFL, baby. You know what I mean? So it's going to be exciting to see what this defense can do. Now, the Texans do have a solid defense in going against the Browns' offense, but I don't think they have an answer for Njoku. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't know if Flacco said, look, let me talk to you. I don't know if Njoku just said, hey, it's time for that action, boss. But as soon as you got Flacco in there, Njoku looks like advertised. He looks like one of the best tight ends in the NFL right now. Definitely top 5. I mean, hands down. And it blows my mind that we're trying all these things, Deshaun Watson and P.J. Walker and Johnny Manziel and all these other, smallish running mobile quarterbacks. And yet you bring in a statue. You bring in a 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", I don't know how big he is, just statue that can sit back and slang the rock. And you're like, oh my God, we look like an NFL team. Like, I'm not going to lie. Watson, to me, when he played, I know it's 5-1 on the record, man. That's false. He looked scared. He looked lost. He looked like the game was moving too fast for him. And I know there's some people saying that, oh, he doesn't want to play football. He got his money. He don't want to play football. Man, I can't believe that. As an ex-athlete, nowhere near anywhere of any professional level of anything. Look, I still want to go out there and compete if I could right now. I used to be in an old dudes basketball league. I can't even play no more because of my knee. It sucks. That drive to want to play, man, that's there, man. That money doesn't kill that because he had money. What's the difference between $50 million and $230 million, right? Oh, yeah, it's a lot of money. Yeah, but really, is it like you see it on paper, but your life ain't going to change. You're going to live the same way at $50 million as you would at $230 million. So it ain't the money. It's here. It's something. It ain't the drive. Maybe he don't want to play in Cleveland, but I'll tell you this. If I'm Deshaun Watson right now and I'm sitting there watching this with Flacco playing, I'm like, please, God, don't win a Super Bowl. Please don't win a Super Bowl. Straight up. Because, man, you know how bad that's going to look? And then what do we do? What do we do? Let's just say, because, to answer my question at the beginning, can the Browns beat the Texans this week? Yes. I think the Browns will beat the Texans this week. And I predict the final score 28-17. Browns. With like a late touchdown by the Texans to make it 28-17. So it's like 28-10 really, and they get that throwaway touchdown. Boom. Put the score up. Bing! So yeah. But can the Browns win the Super Bowl? That's the question. Can they win the Super Bowl? Depends. The first number one thing, health, team health. There has not been a team this year that's been hurt more than the Cleveland Browns. And I'm not saying it's any excuse because, we're here in the playoffs. We got a shot like everybody else. We're at the dance, right? That's all that matters. 4 wins away, right? Doesn't matter. But there's a real shot, and it's got to be health. You got to keep Flacco healthy, number one, because without a captain of the ship, it all goes down. You saw that. Bill Belichick may be the greatest coach in the world, right? A professional coach, right? Because Saban ran college, but it's hard to compare the two, because you had money competing in the NFL. Different teams, free agency, all that. And then in college, it's like, hey, you want to win a championship or be the number 1, 2, 3, or 4 team every year? Come to Alabama. Right? It's not the same. However, he was able to, produce great talent and be a coach of young men. And I'm sure he's changed a lot of lives. So it's really hard to... I don't like to put the whole Belichick versus Saban argument because I think you got to say college, pro, right? I just think you have to because managing the personalities are different, the financials, the salary cap, the frequency of players always changing over. And in college, it's you just can't. You can't compare the two. You just can't. But it did show. As soon as Brady left, Bill struggled. And he never got a quarterback to replace him. Now I do believe if you give Bill another quarterback, I do believe he can get back there. He can get back there because it's Bill Belichick. But Bill Belichick can't turn something out of nothing. Make something out of nothing. If you just don't have a good quarterback, you just don't have a good quarterback. So. And I don't know what's going to happen with Bill Belichick, but that's for another discussion. The path for the Cleveland Browns to get to the Super Bowl, well, first it's going to go through Houston. Then we got to look at some of these other games and see let's see what we're looking at. So we got the Browns Texans tomorrow, 4:30, the first game up. I like that. I kind of like that because then you get all the nerves out. You go out there, punt. You don't watch other games. You don't hear other scores. You don't know anything. You can play your game and then watch other people. That's how I used to like, doing basketball, like tournaments or playing in the games and stuff. You just, you boom, you get yours done. You get out there, you get that anxious energy done because it sucks sitting around waiting and trying to stretch and be warm. And I know it's different in the NFL. I get it, but I kind of feel like when it's this tense like this, that waiting could be bad. Dolphins, Chiefs. I just see the Chiefs winning that. I just think Andy Reid's Andy Reid. I don't think the Chiefs are going to make it to the Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl this year. But I do think that Andy Reid is one of the best coaches ever. He's up there. He's up there on the Rushmore of coaches. I think he would have to be for football. So I could just see that coming down, and I think it's supposed to be like a crazy weather game and like the negatives and stuff. So that could be real interesting to see. Just kind of watch. Maybe it's a little slugfest, or you never know. In games like that when other guys are slowed down, Tyreek Hill is so fast. I'm not even sure if bad weather can slow him down. Because even if you take away, let's say it slows everybody in the field down by 20%. Well, he's still 20% faster than everybody else. So we're going to look at the next one, the Steelers, Bills. As much as I want to be like, man, no, the Bills going to blow them out. I think the Bills will win, but I think it's going to be a lot closer. Just because, Mike Tomlin, he just finds a way to just stay alive, dude. Look at that team. Their quarterback plays, not as bad as ours has been with, some of the people we've had in and out, but God, man, they're just, and they don't also have T.J. Watt this week. So that's going to be big, man. That's the heart and soul of that defense. He's not out there, man. That's a big hit. That's definitely a big hit. So I see the Bills winning that, right? I see the Bills winning that. And then I don't know how does that work with the scheduling then, right? So then I think, because we're higher than the Chiefs, right? Yeah. So I think that we would be the highest one standing. So we would play the Chiefs. And the Chiefs would play the Ravens then, and we would play the Bills, right? I think. And then, if that happens, man, that's going to be a hell of a game right there. And I can see Cleveland winning that one. I can see Buffalo winning that one as well. So that'd be a rough one. Then we'd have Chiefs-Ravens. I see the Ravens, man. I just see the Ravens. So, and then of course, I got the Browns. They're going to beat the Bills. So we got Browns-Ravens for the Super Bowl. The story. And this is the only way Cleveland's going to ever win anything is if it's the most dramatic way possible. Y'all remember LeBron against the Warriors, down 3-1. It's almost bringing tears in my eyes right now, man. Look. That was something special. This has the makings and the buildings of something special. It's going to come down to some key stuff. So, with that said, thanks for checking me out. I'm going to have some more frequent podcasts coming up. I'm going to try to hit some sports, some entertainment, some comedy, hot topics, recent events, whatever. Make sure you like the button. Hit the button, like the button if you hit the button and you like it, and then subscribe. And make sure you check me out, share, look at some other shorts and stuff that I do. I just like to have some fun out here, man. I'm just a creator. I like to do music. I like to do videos. I like to laugh. I just like to make stuff, man. Stupid, fun. Most of it's not funny, probably. But that makes it funny, too. And even if not, just laugh at me anyways. Call me stupid. I don't care. That's the whole point of this, man. I'm just out here to create and have fun. So, thanks for checking me out. See you back whenever. Peace.